So for the working end of a line, a splice is the right way to go. But what about the other end? The best termination is going to be what's called a whipping, which is where we use twine to seal the rope and keep it from unraveling. But what do you do if you're just cutting line off a spool? First, I'll show you the wrong way to do it. If we were to just cut rope off the spool, you'll see right away, even as we're cutting, what happens is this. The line starts to unravel, and as we use the rope and move the rope, you'll find it'll unravel pretty quickly, and this can actually cause problems because the cover comes separate from the core and the whole rope can unravel. So we'll go over a few ways to do this. So what we can do is take a piece of tape. It can be Scotch tape, it can be masking tape, it doesn't really matter, but what we'll do is we'll wrap the line nice and tightly. The tighter we wrap this, the better it's going to be. And another trick you can do is to leave yourself a little handle of tape sticking out by folding over the last centimeter or so. That'll make it very easy to peel off the tape when we're done because you've got this little handle sticking out. Then what we'll do is we'll take our cutting tool, in this case it's a pair of shears made for this purpose, and just chop through the rope like that. What that gives us, it's a nice clean end, and the tape keeps it from unraveling. The way I used to do it before I discovered those was to use a razor blade, and before I had these nice fancy shears, I would probably go through about a box of razor blades every single week in summer because they do dull quickly. So always use a fresh one for the best cut. And otherwise the process is the same. Make sure you tape to control that end. Press hard, and you can get a nice clean end that way. Now the best way to do it to keep it from unraveling is both to tape and to use a hot knife to actually seal and melt the ends together. I'm going to show you the fancy fiberglass tape and what a nice edge it'll leave. And we'll show you closely here how the fiberglass runs in bands around the rope, and that's going to make a nice hard stop for when we cut it. Always let your hot knife warm up so it gives you a nice cut, and don't press too hard or you can actually break these right off. And so when you're done, unwind that, and you've got a nice clean edge. If you have little fuzzy strands of rope sticking out, you can use a lighter to clean them up, or use the hot knife. Just touch the ends of the fuzzy strands and you get a nice clean cut. What type of tool you use to cut rope doesn't really matter as much as it being sharp. If you're just going to use a regular knife, you're going to find it's a lot harder to get a clean cut and it takes a lot more time. So as you can see, when we're using a dull knife, it's a lot harder to cut through than it was with the razor blade or with the shears. Added to that, the rope wants to move around a lot, and so our cut probably won't be as clean. This is polyester rope. As you go into Dyneema and Kevlar and other more exotic materials, the rope gets even harder to cut, so this would be even tougher with a more modern material. So remember, when you're taking line off a spool of rope, it's important to secure the end with tape and a cut so you don't have it looking like this. Thanks for watching, blockheads.